First at 4, a monumental moment as a former president sits in a defendant's chair criminally charged for the first time in history. Today, ex-President Donald Trump appeared in a Manhattan courtroom arraigned on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. Manhattan's DA alleging that the crime was a conspiracy to kill off negative stories about Mr. Trump.
Prosecutors say that the charges stem from 3 separate hush money payments made during Trump's 2016 presidential campaign. The indictment alleges that the payments were made to 2 women to suppress information about extramarital affairs. The payment was made to a one-time doorman at Trump Tower who claimed to have a story about a child of Donald Trump held out of wedlock. Trump has denied all wrongdoing, calling the indictment political persecution.
With more on today's unprecedented arraignment, we're joined by Alexis McAdams. She's live in Manhattan for us, where security was tight as the proceedings took place. Good evening, Alexis.
Hannah, Brian, that's right. It was a chaotic day here in Lower Manhattan. The former president was in this criminal courthouse just over my shoulder here in New York City. And, man, there were so many people down here that just wanted to get one glimpse of the former president who, as you mentioned, went inside of that courtroom for this historic indictment. This is the first time we heard about those charges. The former president, was facing 34 felony counts of falsifying business records, but he maintains his innocence. On Tuesday, Donald Trump, now formally the first former president to ever be charged with a crime. In front of a New York City judge, he pled not guilty to more than 30 counts of business fraud-related charges. They stem from an investigation by District Attorney Alvin Bragg into alleged hush money payments made ahead of the 2016 election.
Under New York state law, it is a felony to falsify business records with intent to defraud and an intent to conceal another crime. That is exactly what this case is about. 34 false statements made to cover up other crimes.
The Secret Service joined the former president as he made his way from Trump Tower to that Manhattan criminal courthouse. Trump was processed and fingerprinted before he was escorted to that courtroom, where he learned of the charges against him. Outside, police, media, and demonstrators gathered near that building. Trump supporters labeling the case a witch hunt.
An indictment on a former president and a presidential, candidate is just a sad day in our country.
If convicted, Trump could still run for president in 2024, though some say prosecutors face an uphill legal battle.
He's trying to dress it up into a felony by invoking federal law that he doesn't have any jurisdiction to prosecute, and that's how we land in court.
Now, Brian and Hannah, we know that the former president is now back in Florida. His plane touched down just a short time ago. He didn't spend too much time in Manhattan today, just was here for that announcement there inside of the courtroom. But we know each felony count carries a 4-year sentence. So when you're talking about 34 felony charges there, that means the former president could face up to 136 years behind bars if he is convicted. We're expected to see him back here in this criminal court in December, but his legal team has asked that he doesn't have to show up in person, because you should have seen how much security they had to have here just to make sure that things ran smoothly. Brian and Hannah.
Yeah, and Alexis, are we getting any sense of a timeline now in this case? What comes next?
Yeah, so timeline-wise, they say, his legal team, Trump's legal team says they're going to file a motion to dismiss this case. All he said today was that this is all political persecution. He doesn't think this is a strong case. He went after DA Alvin Bragg and said he should be indicted, not him. So there's a lot that's going to play out there. But as we near his re-election campaign, which is really kicked off into full start, we'll have to see how things play out there in that courtroom. But the next thing would be him coming back here in December to criminal court. Hannah.
Alexis, thank you.